any violation of the order is a gross misdemeanor and a violation of real estate license law. Please know that these protocols are in place so that your agent can keep their license. Good morning, this is Lance Kenmore with the Kenmore team, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of the Tri-Cities Real Estate Update. As always, you can contact me, Lance Kenmore, anytime direct on my cell phone at 727-8977, or visit us on the web at kenmoreteam.com. Once again, I always like to thank John and everybody here at the station for working to make this happen. COVID update number 9, Mr. John McKay. How you doing this week?
Well, I didn't really bother to dress up much, or, I kind of went to the gym earlier, and I just, the gym known as the Kamanakan High School tire flipping saga.
Nice.
And I just came straight into work after that.
Hey,
so
that is,
I'm grimy.
Other than us doing a little video here occasionally, normally we're just on the radio. So I can understand that for sure.
That's why I'm glad I don't work in television, then I'd have to worry about my personal appearance.
Absolutely. So
cover up those tattoos.
Another crazy week.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like, it doesn't seem like we have any lack of topics to talk about.
Nigerian unemployment scams.
Oh, yes. That's a bad deal. There was a lot of that circulating where people were filing false unemployment claims.
$1.6 million.
$1.6 million
in Washington
already
State.
In Washington. And I will say I've heard a number of business owners be affected by that. And we had a couple of our employees that had to, call in and work that out. It's kind of shocking as an owner when you get something in the mail and it's a request for unemployment benefits and you're like, I just paid that person and they're still employed. At least I didn't know they had quit. I saw them yesterday.
They're right over there.
So, at first we were really kind of freaked out by that. And then we started to see, okay, this is like a statewide national thing.
King County Sheriff, 1,700 alone in that.
Oh my gosh. So on top of everything else we're dealing with, we're dealing with the fraudulent unemployment claims. So
and then the reports of the allegedly overinflated numbers concerning certain things.
Yes.
There's been a lot going on in the blender.
There's a lot going on. And I will tell you, because of that, and there's no lack of changes in the real estate industry.
Oh, boy.
But before we get to what will be changing, or we hope will be changing, we like to start off with our crazy celebrity real estate story. And this one's always kind of fun when I've met the person that is in the story this week. So this story, our crazy celebrity real estate story from Architectural Digest, coming Lindsey Vonn, the skier, and NHL star PK Subban bought a new Beverly Hills home. And so, we talked about during the quarantine, are you going to realize you don't like your current house that you're in all the time? They were no exception to that. They just have a lot more money than we do.
Yeah.
So, but they just bought a 4-bedroom, 6-bathroom, single-story villa. It's at the end of a gated driveway on more than half an acre.
Wow.
And it spans about 5,500 square feet, and this place is dialed gorgeous.
Wow.
Now, they had recently, and this makes sense, they're in Sherman Oaks, not too far away from where they purchased this one. But they listed last month their $3 million home. So, and then Lindsey Vonn currently has her Vail, Colorado ski chalet on the market for $6 million.
Wow.
So they're making some property changes, selling two.
Yeah, they are.
Selling two, buying one, and probably something that is a little more fitted to the type of workouts and what they're doing. And actually, I've seen some of their social media and stuff and some of their home workouts that they were trying to do and what their routines looked like. So it's really interesting. My kids and I met PK Subban, we went a couple years ago to the NHL Awards. They were in Las Vegas, and so we're big hockey fans. My family, the kids play. So we went down to the NHL Awards, which was absolutely fantastic. I know it's a real estate show, but if you're a hockey fan, you ever get a chance to go down there, check them out.
That's pretty cool stuff.
The really cool thing about it was the access that the athletes allowed to the fans. So both of my kids, and PK was there, both of my kids went up and asked to get their photo taken with him, and he was super cool about not just taking a photo with them, but talking to them and asking them questions. And it was just, I have a huge respect for that hockey community. Sidney Crosby, same thing, like, arguably, the most recognized hockey player. Also, sure, let the kids take pictures with them. So, anyway, just very, very cool. Funny to have met him and then see him come across the celebrity, crazy story.
Hockey and NASCAR, the two most fan-accessible, fan-friendly sports.
Super fan with that for sure. So that's our crazy celebrity. And just like we're going to talk about topic later in the show today about what trends the quarantine is causing, and this is one of them, and that's so no different from a celebrity to a normal person spending a large amount of time in their current home. You either find some things to remodel, or you find some deficiencies, or you decide to get a new home. Yeah. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, I want to go over some of the guidelines with the COVID update. Now, what we saw happen earlier in the week is obviously we saw a number of counties become eligible to apply for phase 2.
Spokane and Adams are the latest.
Are the latest. And so what we're looking at is how does phase 2 change real estate and what's going on with the guidelines. So coming out from the governor was some new guidelines with that order, and I want to be clear about that because there's a lot of people are calling them guidelines, but this is actually an order with how to follow that, and that is very different than what a lot of people are trying to claim in the community as guidelines. So when it's an order, I will read you the last sentence of what this order says, and that is, any violation of the order is a gross misdemeanor and a violation of real estate license law, RCW 1885. And so, as I like to say, they're not really messing around with this anymore. Yeah. And so some of the things that we see coming across is when we move to phase 2, which we are not there yet, but I want the public to be prepared for that. Yeah. So when we do, a couple things change, and that is there was also clarification for phase 1 that came out, that real estate brokers, appraisers, inspectors, photographers, and stagers must wear cloth face coverings and should encourage clients and customers to do the same. Last time I checked, the word must is not an optional word. If you must do something, it's not a choice. So part of the order is just saying that in phase 1 and phase 2, in those interactions, have to have cloth face coverings. Second thing that comes up and that this order will change is in phase 2, we are moving to no more than 2 people in the house to no more than 3. Now, this is huge for our agents that have been out there showing, because the classic example we give of this is currently we cannot show a husband and wife a house together. We have to go in with one, and then that person has to exit the house, and then we have to go in with the second person. So take the wife in first, then take the husband. When we move to phase 2, we'll be able to allow a parent and a child, or a husband and wife to see the house. Big difference, and really facilitates those transactions a lot easier. The other thing that helps solve is many times, for instance, say in a new construction walkthrough, a builder will walk through with a client, but they want that client's real estate agent there to document what is going on in the orientation or what is going on in that meeting. How we have to do it now currently in phase 1 is the builder goes in with the client, and then the builder comes out. We have to leave the property, and then the builder has to document that with just then the agent. And if there's something to show that client's agent, the client has to leave the property, and then they have to go back in with the builder. So the difference of moving to phase 2 is going to be huge for us. So I absolutely can't wait until we get to that. Now, one thing you will not be seeing, you're not seeing now, at least you better not be, and you're not going to in phase 2, is still no real estate open houses or similar invitations to view a property without an appointment shall be permitted. So, for instance, we are launching a new development in Pasco. And how we've had to do that is we can't have an open house or a broker's open. So how we've had to do that is we've had to lay out on, say, the Saturday of that launch, we've had to lay out time slots where clients can predetermine and make an appointment to see that. So they'll call and say, we have it open from 9 to 12. Well, prior to that day, you have to have an appointment for one of those time slots to see it. That's allowing us to know who's coming, what time they're coming, properly prepare the property. So that will continue. That will continue into phase 2. The other thing that will happen in phase 2 is that real estate firms may open their offices in a limited fashion. Thank you. Thank goodness, which will make things a lot easier for our agents. And the second part of that is commercial brokers can engage in the same in-person activities as residential brokers. Because to this point, commercial brokers have been literally, shut down. Frozen out. Yeah, frozen out. And so it's been a very difficult time for, businesses and the commercial world to be operating in that case. So these are some of the differences that are going to happen. I don't think I've ever in my life said I'm super excited about phase 2 or phase 2 power. I don't even know when that sentence would come out of my mouth. I can't wait till phase 2 because that is going to change our ability to transact real estate significantly. So we are looking forward to getting to that point and continuing to operate in a safe manner, to continue to follow these protocols that have been set out. And a lot of it is just, number one, so we can keep our freaking licenses. Okay. So these are the protocols that are being followed that we're going after. So please, I do urge the customers that are out there, when you come to these properties or you work with your agents, whichever of the 800 agents you're working with in Tri-Cities, please know that these protocols are in place so that your agent can keep their license. So if they're going to show you a house, and that's where just a ton of conflict is happening right now. And I understand in our community, east, west, blue, green, red, yellow, whatever you want to call it. The point is when you're doing that and you show up at that house and you are forcing or asking or pushing that agent to go outside of those protocols, you are pushing them to potentially cost the license of how they make their living. So please just kick that back around to if you had a license or if you had a way you made a living and now your agent shows up at your work the next day and starts asking you to do things that will get you fired and lose your job. And so at least please play devil's advocate and look at that perspective, because that is causing 90% of the conflict in the market with the real estate agent right now. I talked to a builder's rep who the builder last week finally got fed up, put a camera at the model, and had 50% non-compliance with the directions of the people that were showing the model. So conflict, right? And so we're just trying to help people stay in business, get this thing open, and keep moving. So that's my little public service announcement on what is going to be happening in phase 2. Super excited about phase 2.
I'm excited about phase 4.
I'm excited about no phases.
I'm actually excited about the August primary.
McKay.
But that's a different discussion.
You're a dangerous man over there.
Oh,
when we come back from the break, we're going to get in our pick 3, and we're going to talk about the top 2 trends that are driving real estate sales right now during the pandemic.
Right here on News Talk 870.
Welcome back to the Tri-Cities Real Estate Update. Well, the market has not stopped moving. We have been busy. I mean, here we are coming up, the end of May, 1st of June. I mean, this is go time for real estate, COVID or not. So, yeah, there's regulations, but we're doing a lot of business.
People have things they have to get done.
They've got job transfers. They've got, familial status changes. And so people need to get properties sold. People have leases that are ending and they need to get properties bought, and they're moving to the area for work. So we're extremely busy. We still are in a low inventory position. So I've got my pick 3 this week, and we've put on some awesome properties this week that I'm super excited about. Pick number 1, I'm going to take you out to West Richland, 5153 Killdeer Court. This is just under 2,000 square feet. Awesome, updated 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, and it's on a cul-de-sac, so you don't get a lot of traffic. Super quiet area. Awesome inside. They've really redone stuff with kind of that modern farmhouse style that we talk about on the show. I think the celebrity story last week was about a farmhouse style house that was selling. So you've got beautiful wood floors. You've got a formal living room and a formal dining room. The kitchen, they went with granite counters. You've got a pantry, a breakfast bar. Main level also has a half bath and a laundry room. Upstairs, you've got a master suite with dual closets, and then 3 secondary bedrooms, one of those for a home office in case you need it right now. Slider off the dining area to a fully fenced backyard with a deck. You've got a water feature, open patio, mature landscaping, chicken coop, which, you might need those eggs right now. Raised garden bed. Awesome. Just a great property. And this is hitting that price point of $347,500. So just right in the wheelhouse for what's super hot right now. 5153 Killdeer Court. Pick number 2, I'm going to take you over to Southridge, 3001 South Dawes. This is a beautiful custom. It feels, though, like a brand new house. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2335 square feet. Awesome curb appeal, stone rock, solid block fencing, so low maintenance. You're not out there repainting that cedar all the time. Just an absolutely awesome kitchen, granite counters, full tile backsplash, huge island for entertaining and cooking, double oven, stainless steel appliances, absolutely gorgeous kitchen, large master suite, dual sink vanity, walk-in shower, and a sauna, which is awesome. And then you've got just roomy secondary bedrooms, spacious laundry room, 3-car garage with a water softener. And this is coming in at $389,900. Wow. So you don't normally get stuff like the extra large kitchen island, the block fencing, the stone. In that price range is absolutely incredible. And then pick number 3, for those of you, I'm going to say the hot word, shop, before I launch into this description. But 61303 East 95 PRSE. I'm going to take you out to Badger Canyon. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a den and a bonus room on 2 acres in Badger Canyon. The home, it has oversized living room, corner gas fireplace. Dining room has beautiful red oak hardwood flooring. The kitchen has a great breakfast bar, stainless steel appliances. Cooktop is propane gas. Breakfast nook, gorgeous views. And then you've got a great master suite. French doors open up to a 60 by 14 Trex deck, so low maintenance type decking. Home's wired for surround sound. You've got central vacuum, and then the landscaping. So gorgeous landscaping, because I said we got 2 acres out there. And then a 65 by 42 shop. Then, so you've got 2 stories. And then you've got 3 bays with roll-up doors, wired for RV hookup. Both shop bays have electric, water, and drain for the RVs.
Ooh.
So, I mean, back it in. You're back from camping. There's nothing worse than trying to find a spot to take care of all this. And imagine, say, the weather's not so great when you're packing up. You can just pack everything up from inside the shop. I mean, this place, like, I didn't want to leave. Like, this place is just absolutely... I mean, you just sit there and think of all the amazing things you can do. There's been, you could make that shop. There's a lot of options that you could use that shop for. There's even the potential to add some living space above the shop. I mean, this thing was done
Mother-in-law.
right. Yes, absolutely. And that price is at $599,
Wow.
$900. Very difficult to get all of those amenities for that price.
If you tried
point.
to build it new,
Oh, yeah. If you tried to build it new, we're talking $750 plus. And right now I'm just thinking in my head, I wouldn't even, it would be hard for me to find the lot that would allow it.
Yeah.
So this is a great opportunity out there. That was our pick 3 for this week. A couple things I wanted to talk about as we wrap up the show and the second segment here is I wrote down some of the trends from COVID that are driving sales right now. So real life scenarios for what calls are coming in, when the listeners are calling, when we're going on appointments, what is driving some sales right now? And I'll tell you a trend that is emerging that we expected to happen, but I'm getting more calls about than I expected, was multi-generational combination of households.
ooh,
So what's happened in these cases is a lot of times what's happened is, say you've got parents or you've got a mother who you guys were, before COVID, you were thinking, you know what? we're going to sell mom's house and we're going to move her into an assisted living facility. Now, during COVID and with what's going on, what do you think runs through people's mind when they go through that scenario, McKay?
well, there honestly, and this is being factual, there has been a lot of activity through, no fault of the centers, but there's been a lot of things happening there and some higher rates and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And so what the reporting has done is that's driving people to consider multi-generational households. And so we've had a number of transactions already in the last 3 weeks. One indication we got, for instance, is we had some folks that were retired and they went to Arizona to be with their mother during COVID and, help with the grocery shopping and that type of stuff. And they called me and they're like, Lance, this we think now is a permanent situation. We're not coming back because of that situation. Let's go ahead and sell that house.
Yes.
And then we're going to combine households and buy a new house down here in Arizona. We've had local clients here in Tri-Cities that have said, hey, we were considering this before, but now we want to speed up those plans, Lance. We want to sell our house. We want to sell Dad's house. And then we want to buy a new house that all of us can be in together. So we're working on many, many transactions that have to do with the changing dynamic of households and multi-generational living right now. So that's a big trend, but there is a lot to consider with that. And so we are doing consultations for people right now with that, because you have to look at whose house do we sell first? Do we sell mom's house first and then she comes and lives with us? Do we sell our house first? Who's going to take title of the new property? Are we going to take title together? And so there's a lot of steps to walk through. And what's my house worth? What's mom's house worth? What's dad's house? And so there's a lot of steps to go through to see what we need to do. So my team is totally, absolutely over the moon excited to be doing these consultations, to be helping people through this process. And so we're out there making those evaluations, putting those plans in place, getting those properties on the market.
That's something I never would have thought of, multi-generational.
And it really has. I mean, and we've seen it beforehand, but now the reasons why are different. And the urgency to do it has increased. And we're directly seeing that resulting in our phone calls increasing and the number of sales.
Wow.
So that's a big one. Second biggest one that is actually happening that was reported nationally. Some economists had predicted this. I reported it 2 weeks ago on the show, is that many of the real estate CEOs were predicting an exodus of people from larger metropolitan areas to communities like the Tri-Cities, like Boise, like, Kellogg, like some of these smaller outlying communities that are different than what's been going on in the large metropolitan areas. So we are already seeing, and we experienced a lot of this after 08, 09. People lost a tremendous amount of money and equity in those markets. Some of them were upside down, and they came to a more stable market like the Tri-Cities.
I think they call that urban drain, don't they?
Yes, absolutely. And so once again, we're already seeing a massive uptick in those types of calls and transactions. We had 4 last week that were over.
Wow.
2 from Portland, 2 from Seattle. And the type of comments we were getting, we were going around showing them a couple different homes. And at the end of those showings, a couple of the comments we got, for instance, were, wow, it's so much more relaxed over here. And other comments were, for instance, after being here this weekend, we don't want to go back. And so, but you've got to look at what's happened situationally is some of the benefits of the city, the larger restaurants and the sporting events and those things. When those items are gone and taken off the table, which are generally the reasons we hear a lot of people when you say, what do you like about living in the large metropolitan areas? And they start to go with, well, the culture and the museums and the restaurants and the sporting events. Well, when those are taken off the table, what's left is the rest of the community. Yeah. And that is what is being highlighted right now. And so we're starting to see those folks come to Tri-Cities. Now, I know half the people listening are like, keep them out. I like my community. But, however, that's going to maintain property values. That's going to be a lot of people moving to this area, bringing their dollars to this area. So that's a whole nother problem and another show. But it is a very real trend that we are seeing in the field right now. So those are 2 massive trends that are directly relating to changing the landscape of our market right now in the Tri-Cities. If you have any questions about how that works or what to do, you can go to kenmoreteam.com and shoot us a message. We would love to help. We are working remotely. We are using our masks. We're following those protocols. So it's different, a type of way, but we are still, we are in that late spring, early summer push. And so we are fortunate, lucky, and blessed to be. We are very, very busy. So shoot us a message and we would love to help get you into your next property or get you sold so you can meet your goals. And after that, we will be right back here next week.
Right here on News Talk 870.